The medium is the message is a concept which believes that the content in an actual message is not nearly as important as the medium in which it is received. And it took me a while to get my head around all of this, but it was a lot easier once the examples started flowing. That was lame.
Flow is flow.
What?
Anyway, even a show such as Seinfeld, which was created in 1989 and powered through the 90s, addresses this concept that the medium is the most important part of a message and really influences how the message is received.
This scene shows Elaine calling her friend, inquiring about her father's health.
Hi, it's Elaine. How is your father? Is everything okay?
Mobile phones were still a relatively new technology and were not as reliable as they are now. And it wasn't seen as socially acceptable to call someone on the street to make an important phone call.
Jill's father's in the hospital and you call to ask about him on a cell phone?
What, no good?
Faux pas.
Faux pas?
Big, hefty, stinking faux pas.
You can't make a health inquiry on a cell phone. It's like saying I don't want to take
Jerry and George make it very clear that this was not acceptable at the time, which shows that Seinfeld acknowledged that the medium in which a message is portrayed really does affect how the message is received. And the medium that Jerry and George are using to explain to Elaine that this is wrong would be a lot more confronting than, say, a text message.
Too much?
Analog technologies were still very prominent in the 90s. Scenes of Seinfeld even taking place in a video store. These video stores have since become extinct.
Hey, what do you know? Look at that.
Since videos, new media forms have been created in order to watch films. However, even these physical media forms have been replaced by a multitude of online platforms that are ultimately more accessible and extremely affordable. And unfortunately, these analog forms of media cannot compete with the digital mediums.
It's so weird to think back to that time, not even 20 years ago, where that was unconventional to make a phone call on the street. These days, if we make a phone call on a mobile phone, it is normal. It's nothing out of the ordinary, even if it is to inquire about somebody's health, but in the 90s, that was not acceptable. These days, people would be lucky to get a mobile phone call.
In fact, one of the greatest love stories of our youth was developed through a mobile phone call. However, it's not as charming as it used to be. People used to get letters expressing their love for one another, but in the early 2000s, your phone would buzz and you would get it confiscated. Doesn't seem to have the same feel. But even since the 2000s, things have changed.
These days we have so many avenues to contact one another. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Messenger, iMessage, SMS, text message. They may be the same thing, but I don't know. Dare I say FaceTime, Facebook, Skype. There's so many ways to contact others that a simple phone call is kind of special.
Old mate Marshall McLuhan wrote the book on the medium is the message, and he said, "In a culture like ours, long accustomed to splitting and dividing all things as a means of control, it is sometimes a bit of a shock to be reminded that, in operational practical fact, the medium is the message." And although the book was printed as the medium is the massage, the overall concept has had a massive influence on how we communicate in this day and age.
That's how I perceive the medium as the message anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's a more correct way of expressing it as a concept, but that's how I interpreted it. Peace out, brothers.